Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, Vanity Fair put out an article about the new Star Trek film. Apparently Paramount's doing a new Star Trek film, but it's not Star Trek 4. Star Trek 4 appears to have been cancelled. Basically, they can't afford the actors from the JJ films, so they're basically doing another reboot. They're doing another prequel. They're going back decades before the first JJ Star Trek film. So, and we'll get into that later, but it's going to be directed by Toby Haynes, who has directed 6 episodes of Andor, and it's being written by Seth Grahame-Smith, who apparently wrote Black Mirror, the parody Star Trek episode USS Callister, and of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and the Lego Batman movie. So it looks like it's another parody, because basically that's all they can do at this point. These people don't have any respect for Star Trek. They just see it as this camp thing to laugh at, and they enjoy laughing at it, and everything they do now is just a parody of Star Trek. It's just bizarre. So basically that's what they're doing. They don't have the money for the new cast. They couldn't get anyone to fund them because the last 3 films didn't make any money. The first film and Into Darkness, they cost so much that even though they did make $300-400 million each, that basically just, I think they might have broke even. They didn't make any money, and Beyond actually lost money. The original films were far more profitable. They were a lot less expensive and made, with inflation, the same money. Star Trek the Motion Picture, I think with inflation would have made more money than JJ's Star Trek film now. It was, I think there was like $4 million difference or something, and that was a film from like 20 years on. It's pretty sad. I mean, we don't actually know what era it's in, because they said it's decades before the JJ era films, but the JJ era, the first film, covers about 30 years. So does this mean they're going back to the Kelvin? They're going back a couple of decades from when the main section of the film was set, because they don't have to stick to that timeline. Like the universe, the Kelvin universe that they created, it doesn't just start from the time incursion like a new timeline. It actually created a whole universe, and you can sort of go back, and do a prequel within that universe. But we don't know what they're doing. We just know that they basically cancelled Star Trek 4. They're doing a reboot. It's obviously going to be a new cast of unknowns that are not going to cost as much money. And the good news is, if they are actually doing a smaller budgeted film, Star Trek film, then that's the smarter move, because Star Trek is a niche thing. You can make a $70 million Star Trek film and make a few $100 million. You can do that, but you can't spend $200 million on a Star Trek film and make $1 billion. It's not going to happen. The audience isn't there, because you have to be an intellectual to get this show. You have to actually appreciate science fiction to get, the original Star Trek. And there's just not enough people that will actually, like the show. It's a niche thing, because it just is. And they keep trying to change it to appeal to the masses and make it a mainstream $1 billion film. And it's just not going to happen. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I feel like I had more to say about this. I did a video about this and accidentally erased it. So I'm doing this again like an hour after I did the first video. And I can't think of anything else, but it was like I was struggling to keep it to 5 minutes before. But I guess I just ranted less about the fact that they shouldn't be doing a prequel, because there is, there's really only 2 eras of Star Trek to work in. The Picard era, which is running like ongoing with our time, just like centuries difference, and that is always moving forward. And then there's doing something in Kirk's era or Pike's era, and it seems to me that they just don't want to do a film that's anywhere near the TV series Strange New Worlds or Discovery or anything. So they're going before that, because they don't want to deal with anybody's IP. They don't want to pay anyone. They don't want to. They just want to do their own thing, it looks like. And where it's going to be an original crew in the middle of nowhere, or whether it's going to be the Kelvin, or whether it's, who knows what it's going to be. We don't know yet. All we know is it's not going to have Chris Hemsworth. It's not going to have the original cast. They've cancelled Star Trek 4. They're doing a reboot. Does this mean that the rumours about the Picard film, people were confusing it with this film that was about to be announced? Or are they still going to do a Picard film through the TV sort of wing after they finished First Contact? Section 31. It's unclear. But, I don't know. I'm going to go. Part of me feels a bit hopeful because they've recognised it's a niche franchise and they can have to make smaller films if they're going to make money, and they can make money, but they have to, plan it properly. And the rest of me is like another prequel. It's going backwards. It's going to be set in a time before Star Trek was recognisable as Star Trek, and that's what they keep doing. They keep going backwards so they can say, well, we haven't got to that point now where we have IDIC and the Prime Directive and everyone is, happy and, it's an optimistic utopian universe. It's all about, getting there because we go far enough back that we're not there yet. And it's all about this other sort of, generic sci-fi sort of dystopian sort of era sort of show that they keep trying to go backwards and make it more contemporary. It just takes away what makes Star Trek special and makes it fun. And I just feel like they're doing the same thing. They're just going in that direction. And the further they get away from Star Trek era, the closer they get to our era, the less it resembles Star Trek. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be a Kelvin adventure. Maybe it'll be a really great story, a really great Star Trek story that isn't complicated by the budgets or the IP or anything. No way of telling how it's going to go. But I'm going to go.